Miami, where weather forecasts are highly optimistic, predictions for the Dolphins were clouded by doubt. Many experts figured them to merely break even with no realistic chance to contend for the AFC East title. What they overlooked was the genius of Don Shula, certifiably the best coach in the business. Shula's young team often started as many as 5 first-year players on defense. There was, however, a hardy nucleus of Super Bowl veterans and an offense led by a quarterback who generaled the championship teams and wanted to see the good times again. The Super Bowl Dolphins had no apparent weakness. They won on might and muscle and crushed opponents like a steamroller. This one had to be more resourceful, more daring. Feint here, jab there, bob and weave, then disappear. It was not an attack of long drives, but of long plays, and the season was aptly named Explo 77. The team reflected Shula's drive for perfection, and as much as he demanded of them, the more they gave back to him. It could be a diving catch at the goal line. For whatever it took, the Dolphins were going flat out after a title. By year's end, the Miami Dolphins turned the losing record of a year ago into 10-4. And in doing so, the once and future champions came within a whistle of winning the AFC East. The championship chase began in Buffalo, where Bob Greasy wore glasses in the rain for the first time. And Miami's winning streak over the Bills reached 15 straight with a 13-0 shutout. 1 week later, Miami traveled to San Francisco for the first time in their history. To confuse the 49ers' goal rush defense and disguise the varied skills of Nat Moore, the Dolphins deployed number 89 in 3 positions. Moore scored as a flanker on a reverse, and again as a setback with a screen pass. Moore was then hidden at tight end, and the result was a 73-yard touchdown, his 3rd of the game. After defeating the 49ers 19-15, the Dolphins came home and won in a rout 27-7 over the Houston Oilers. Before the season, Miami had confidence in its ability to score points, but were uncertain as to how many points its defense would allow. Through 3 games, the unbeaten Dolphins proved swift and sure on offense, overwhelming on defense. With as many as 5 first-year starters playing defense, the unit had allowed only 2 touchdowns. The 53 defense was reborn with Bob Matheson, and the glue that held together the rebuilt defensive line was Steady Vern Dan Herter. Veteran hustle was a surprise blitz by Charlie Babb, or Tim Foley stretched out to deflect a 3rd down pass. Rookies like safety Vern Robertson and cornerback Norris Thomas, number 41, played their positions like seasoned pros. The secondary's plan was to deny the home run pass, and sometimes it meant chasing a receiver out of the stadium. While Dick Anderson and Rick Volt shored up the hard-hitting deep defenses, nowhere was the Dolphins' go-for-broke, hell-for-leather style more evident than at linebacker, where Steve Toll, number 56, jammed the running game and led the team in tackles. There was ample evidence that Toll, like Superman, could leap tall buildings in a single bound. Sophomore linebacker Larry Gordon, number 50, pinched in to pile up plays from the right side. At 6'6" and 245 pounds, versatile Kim Bokamper played virtually two positions. He either ran down halfbacks and overpowered them from his basic linebacker slot, or he set up as a down lineman and picked the quarterback's pocket. In rebuilding the defensive line, two rookies would have to mature in a hurry. Don Shula said after a few weeks of training camp, number 73, Bob Baumhauer, and number 77, A.J. Dewey, played like veterans. Tackle Bob Baumhauer was a second-round draft choice from Alabama. As the key man in the 3-4 defense, he played head up on the center, and it was his job to beat his block and disrupt the middle. The position also demanded lateral mobility and quick explosion up the gut to the quarterback. A.J. Dewey, the other half of the Southern Pride connection, was the #1 pick from LSU. Dewey was a starter and a star from his first game. Number 77 was consistent at muscling runners or rushing passers and led the team in sacks. A.J. was voted the NFL's Defensive Rookie of the Year. And in Dewey and Baumhauer, owner Joe Robbie had two big reasons why his Miami Dolphins boasted the NFL's best winning percentage in the 1970s. In the fourth week, the undefeated Dolphins ran headlong into a crucial game with the undefeated Baltimore Colts. Great expectations burst into high hopes when Freddie Solomon triggered a big play barrage with a 90-yard kickoff return. Running back Benny Malone's galloping stride carried him to touchdowns of 66 and 52 yards as the Dolphins built an early 28-10 lead. While the Dolphins had spent all their ammunition, Colts quarterback Burt Jones had not used his, and 4 touchdown passes by Jones dealt Miami a harsh 45-28 defeat. One defeat, even such a costly one against a division rival, did not deter Don Shula, and under his lash, Miami struck back against the New York Jets. Behind Bob Greasy's shrewd guidance and tight spirals, the Dolphins ran up an 18-point lead, then coasted to victory. Next, they huffed and puffed and blew away the Seattle Seahawks 31-14. With veterans like number 36, Don Nottingham, providing inspiration, there was a growing feeling among the Dolphins that nothing could stop them now. But knee injuries had claimed Ernest Roan, Carl Barisic, and Mike Colon, and suddenly dark clouds appeared on the horizon. San Diego quarterback James Harris stunned the Dolphins with a rollout touchdown on the last play. The heartbreaking 14-13 defeat ended the first half of the season on a sour note. For instead of one loss, Miami now had 2, and it faced the brunt of its schedule in the final 7 games. From starters to special teams, Miami held together. Place kicker Garo Yepremian was tried and true, while rookie Mike Michel shared the punting job with Larry Seifel. The special teams keyed many Dolphin victories. Terry Anderson, John Alexander, Larry Ball, Wally Pursuit, Steve Young, and Charles Cornelius were 6 tough hitters on a team of hitters. Veterans like Curtis Johnson supplied the discipline, and youngsters like Loaird McCrary and A.J. Dewey provided the soaring spirit. The third ingredient was coaching. Shula's staff of Bill Arnsparger, Mike Scarry, Tom Keene, John Sandusky, Howard Schnellenberger, Carl Tassif, and George Young were teachers. And there were valuable lessons to be learned in the season's final 7 games. At Shea Stadium against the Jets, Bob Greasy attacked with precision passes to a variety of receivers and completed 12 of his 15 attempts. Number 82, Duriel Harris, caught 2 touchdowns. The defense made a goal line stand, and Miami won 14-10. Next came a crucial game at the Orange Bowl against the New England Patriots, and Gary Davis sent the Dolphins winging to a 17-5 victory with a 73-yard kickoff return. The defense, led by A.J. Dewey's blocked punt, held New England without a touchdown, and the offense hammered out a 94-yard touchdown drive with a key pass to Jim Mandich and the battering runs of Norm Boulash. The big play occurred when Greasy defeated a blitz with a touchdown to Nat Moore. Moore later said, "It couldn't have been thrown any better if Bob came over and put it in my hands." The Dolphins' record stood 7-2 when they played the Bengals at Riverfront Stadium. Miami led 17-16 with 2.5 minutes to play. But then a triple reverse flea flicker pass ended up with Bob Trumpy in the end zone. There was no time to brood over such a bitter loss, because 4 days later the Dolphins faced the St. Louis Cardinals, who rode a 6-game winning streak into Thanksgiving Day. Bob Greasy buried St. Louis under an avalanche of 6 touchdown passes, 3 to unstoppable Nat Moore. Behind Greasy and later backup quarterback Don Strock, Miami rolled up team records of 34 first downs, 503 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 55 points. The Dolphins marched home to a hero's welcome, where they would next battle the division-leading Colts and shut them down with the defensive plan of assistant head coach Bill Arnsparger. Veteran Bob Hines helped immobilize Baltimore's imposing ground game, and Bob Greasy shot holes through the Colts' defense. Tight end Andre Tillman blasted for 1 touchdown, and rookie Leroy Harris, number 38, ran for 140 yards. Harris climaxed victory with a 77-yard touchdown, the longest run in Dolphin history. He was so weary on the run, he later remarked, "I never did have the feeling it was going to go all the way. I was looking for a filling station to gas up." Since 1970, the Dolphins and Colts have swept every title in the AFC East, and with their 17-6 victory, Miami and Baltimore were dead even for the division lead. A continuing source of strength was the offensive line. Tackles Wayne Moore and Mike Current were solid veterans, and handyman Ed Newman backed up everyone everywhere. Keying the line was All-Pro center Jim Langer, whose fierce blocks opened the door to touchdowns. Paving the way on sweeps were guards Larry Little, number 66, and Bob Kuchenberg, number 67. Langer, Little, and Kuchenberg formed the core of the Super Bowl teams, and now they were the backbone of this young team. Commanding this many splendid offense was Bob Greasy, the NFL's highest-rated quarterback. That achievement was impressive, considering that he was forced to use eyeglasses and nobody knew how it might affect his game, both psychologically and technically. What all this proved was that some people underestimated the man, his capacities, and the weapons at his disposal. Number 89, Nat Moore, became Greasy's most versatile ally. He was used at setback, tight end, and wide receiver, and had a firm grasp of each position. Every defense was geared to stop him, and few of them did, as he led the NFL with 12 touchdown catches, breaking the Dolphin record which had belonged to Paul Warfield. With teams double covering Nat Moore, Greasy turned his attentions to a receiver one opposing coach thought has a magnet in his hands. Number 82, Duriel Harris, has been likened to Warfield, for he possesses the same flowing stride and ability to concentrate and catch in a crowd. With their offense peaking at just the proper time, the Dolphins traveled to New England to play the most important game of the year. At Foxborough Stadium, the 9-3 Dolphins needed victory to claim the AFC East outright. After allowing 2 early touchdowns, number 51, Rusty Chambers, led a defense that shut out the Patriots for the next 3 quarters. New England blocked off the running lanes, so Bob Greasy resorted to an all-out passing barrage that found the vulnerable middle ranges of the Patriot zone defense. The Dolphins fought back on a greasy touchdown to Nat Moore, but still trailed 14-10 late in the last quarter. Don Shula desperately needed one big play to produce a championship. But the dream flooded away when a pass, hurried by a blitz, eluded Nat Moore inside of the goal line. While their title chances were slender, on the next to last day of the season, the Dolphins razzle-dazzled the Buffalo Bills. Nat Moore's 13th touchdown broke the club record, and Greasy threw his 22nd scoring pass, the most in the NFL and a personal high. Gary Davis rushed for 172 yards, the second best total in Dolphin history, and scored a 60-yard touchdown. It was an essential victory, but ultimately an empty one, when the next day, Baltimore defeated New England to clinch the AFC East title. But there was so much for the Dolphins to be proud of. They had come so far so fast when nobody but themselves had thought it possible. They were a blend of something old, something new, and something wonderful. They were the 1977 Miami Dolphins, the once and future champions.